Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is actually a follow on from a video I did 3 years ago. I think it was called Uno Ein One or something like that, where I showed artists where I only had one studio album. This one is artists I have in my collection where all I have is greatest hits, and it kind of follows one of the questions I had in my contest about 3 months ago. Which artists do you think that a greatest hits is all that is required? So there's 10 artists here. Well, I'm lying, there's actually 15. I'm putting an extra 5 in. Artists where all I have is a greatest hits album, no other studio albums whatsoever. And I'll go through them and I'll see whether maybe I might consider buying a couple of albums. I don't know. So the first one up, and it is Thin Lizzy. And this is all I have of Thin Lizzy. It's Dedication, the very best of. I think this came out around 1990 or so, 91 possibly. And this was one of the last few brand new albums I bought before I switched to CD. This is really good. Whiskey in the Jar's on it. Jailbreak, Boys Are Back in Town, Don't Believe a Word. Dancing in the Moonlight, Sarah, Parisian Walkways. The very underrated Killer on the Loose. Out in the Fields with, I think it was Gary Moore was in that as well. Yeah, I never bought anything Lizzy, and I don't know why, because I do like them. I went one day up to the shop in Ballymena specifically to buy The Boys Are Back in Town, and it was there and I never bought it. I don't know why. I bought something else instead. So yeah, I probably would actually buy something by Thin Lizzy. I want the one with Do Anything You Want To on it. I think it's produced by Tony Visconti, but I love that song. So I think it's from 1979. I think Waiting for an Alibi is also on it. Both songs are on this as well. But yeah, Thin Lizzy is the first one. I possibly would buy more. Second one, another rocker, and it's Alice Cooper. And this came out in around 1974. Alice Cooper were actually a band. Yeah, this is really good, but never bought anything else. I wouldn't mind Billion Dollar Babies from 73, but I never actually have seen it out in the wild, and it's actually quite expensive. I do like this. This has got Hello Hooray on it, which I think is a magnificent song, even though I don't think they wrote it. No More Mr. Nice Guy, Elected. Teenage Lament 74 is also a favourite of mine. Part of the glam rock movement, which is surprising that I haven't actually gone and got Schools Out or Billion Dollar Babies, but for now all I have is Alice Cooper. But yeah, I probably would get more. This one here, I don't know. It's The Cure, and this is their first greatest hits. I like The Cure, but I really do struggle with Robert Smith's voice. Sometimes I'm okay with it, other times it really grates on me. But this is a fantastic album. It's got my all-time favourite Cure song on it called Caterpillar, which was a hit in around 83, I think. The Love Cats and The Walker on this, Let's Go to Bed. It's got some of the early ones that I really like, Charlotte Sometimes, Killing an Arab, and Boys Don't Cry. I have a couple of Cure singles. I bought the one In Between Days as well as Caterpillar and the reissue of Boys Don't Cry, but never felt the need, even back in the 80s whenever they were really big, to buy their albums. But this one here, yeah, but I don't think I'll be buying any Cure. The fourth one, 60s band, The Animals. Everybody has this, everybody has it on the Music for Pleasure label. Really good greatest hits. I don't even know the names of any of their albums, so this one will do me. This is actually better on CD because it has Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood on it, where it's not on the actual LP version, but it does have House of the Rising Sun, We've Got to Get Out of This Place, Roadrunner, Let the Good Times Roll, Bring It On Home to Me, Baby Let Me Take You Home. Very good album, but I never thought of ever getting any Animals at all, any of their studio albums. Earth, Wind and Fire, and this is the collection from 1986. It's on KTEL, but it's a double album, so it's not that squashed together. There's 24 songs on it, so this will definitely do me. I like this, but I don't like it all. Let's Groove is my all-time favourite Earth, Wind and Fire song. I do like September. I love Boogie Wonderland, of course. Got to Get You Into My Life, I actually don't mind their version of it. After the Love Has Gone, Fantasy. There's good songs, but Earth, Wind and Fire, I always preferred Kool and the Gang, to be honest. But yeah, this will do me. Double album, and it's a fine album. Quite similar, but not really, as the Commodores. Now, I do have a few Lionel Richie solo albums, but this here is a Telstar album with 16 tracks on it, and it's a single album. It's all squashed together, and this was released around 86 or 87 as well. But this is brilliant. I would love a double compilation of the Commodores with say 20 songs on it, 5 each side. It's got Three Times a Lady on it still, Sail On, Night Shift after Lionel Richie had left. But one of my favourite singles of the Commodore is actually on this, and it's called Oh No. It's one of the big ballads, of course, and it's quite reminiscent of Endless Love, but it's really good. You also get things like Brick House and Machine Gun, which is fantastic on this. I would buy more Commodores if I saw them. I don't really see them that often. You get them in the odd pound bin, but they're usually beat up, and I'm not buying beat up albums anymore, there's no point. But yeah, I would pick up if I saw a couple of Commodores albums, but I really would like a double greatest hits. Next up, we have Billy Idol. So all I have is called Billy Idol Songs, 11 of the best. This is not actually Vital Idol, I think this is just Billy Idol Songs. Yeah, really good. This really reminds me of the 1980s. Rebel Yell, Hot in the City, especially White Wedding. That was played everywhere in all the clubs. My favourite is Hot in the City. I also like Catch My Fall as well. And Money Money, Okay, To Be a Lover, Sweet 16. It's really good, but I have no interest in getting any other Billy Idol albums. This one will just do me. It just takes me back in time, but that's it. Billy Idol, 11 of the best. This one here, whenever I did the competition or the contest, All You Need Is a Greatest Hits, this one was shown quite a bit. Maybe not this actual greatest hits, but the band was, and this is the Hollies. 20 Golden Greats, again 20 tracks on one greatest hits, and it doesn't sound too bad. It's okay. It's got There That I Breathe on it, which I love, really love actually. Carry On, which is really good. Bus Stop. But a lot of the other ones I'm just not really that interested in, so it's a decent album, but I have no interest in getting any other studio albums. In fact, I don't know what any other studio albums are actually called. I think they did one, the Hollies Play Dylan, but that's all I know. So the Hollies, and this is 20 Golden Greats. This one here is another 20 Golden Greats, and it's fantastic, and it's Glen Campbell. And I know Jeff Calico Silver is a big fan of Glen Campbell, especially when he sings the Jimmy Webb songs. This is fantastic, but this is so good. I don't want any more Glen Campbell. This is just a really good listen, and every time I hear it, I really do enjoy it. Like starting off with Rhinestone Cowboy and ending with Amazing Grace. My favourite track is It's Only Make Believe. I think is magnificent. And then you get Galveston, which is great. By the time I get to Phoenix, Both Sides Now, the Joni Mitchell song, it was Glen Campbell that I first heard the song from, and yeah, it's a really good album. But if I was to buy any Glen Campbell studio albums, don't think I would ever play them. And this here is a band from Australia, and it's the Easy Beats. This is the best of the Easy Beats, featuring Friday on My Mind, and it's only recently in the past few years that I bought that. Yeah, so Friday on My Mind is the big hit off this, and it is by far the best song. The rest of them are okay, but there's nothing really that special for me on this album, so I don't think I would go that far with them. I don't think I would buy any others. I think they've had about 4 or 5 albums, or 5 or 6 albums, I'm not sure, but this one will do me. But again, if Friday on My Mind wasn't on this, I wouldn't probably even want it. So the Easy Beats, the best of, including, see, it says featuring Friday on My Mind, so they're really pushing that song. So yeah, so there's 10. Now a few extras here where I definitely would not pick up anymore, and one is the very best of Leo Sayer. Now this is really good, and I've the opportunity to buy nearly every Leo Sayer album. If you see a Leo Sayer album greater than £1, you're being ripped off, because they're all 50p. But this is a very good album actually, because it's got one man band on it, which I love. When I Need You is slushy, written by Albert Hammond, but I still do like it. The Show Must Go On is a fantastic single, giving it all away that Roger Daltrey did. It's not as good as Daltrey's version. In fact, Roger Daltrey also did one man band as well. But yeah, it's a really, really good album. A very best of, well worth it, but I've no interest in the studio albums. This one here, the Righteous Brothers, the very best of, Unchained Melody. Yeah, I don't even know if these guys have had studio albums, but I bought this on the strength of Unchained Melody around the time that Ghost was released, and You've Lost That Love and Feeling. Those are the first two songs, and if I'm being honest, I think those are the only two I've ever played. So I have no other interests. So I bought this, it must have been Christmas 1990. Yeah, and those are the only two songs I ever played, which is a waste. I must give this a spin, it might be actually quite good. 80s disco-y type music, and we have Shalamar, the greatest hits. Fantastic album. It's got all these big hits from the early 80s. There it is, I Can Make You Feel Good, Disappearing Act, Friends, Dead Giveaway, A Night to Remember. And even the ones that I didn't know from pre-1982 are actually very good, but no interest in getting any of the studio albums. And two more. Tom Jones, fantastic greatest hits album. Favourite song is Help Yourself. Love Delilah, love What's New Pussycat, love Thunderball. Really, really good, but that will do me. It's just a greatest hits. And lastly, and it's a more recent one, it's the 2000s one, that's Britney Spears, and this is my prerogative. The greatest hits, and this is brilliant. This is the hits from her first 1, 2, 3, 4 albums. It is excellent, but that's all I need, and I really do like this. I've got this in CD as well, and I've been playing it in the car lately. Really good, but do I want any of her albums? No, I don't think so. Okay, so that's my look at artists, well, some artists in my collection where all I have is the greatest hits, and quite a few of them, that would be it for me. Thin Lizzy, Alice Cooper, possibly The Cure, and possibly the Commodores. Yeah, I would if I saw records at the right price. But for The Cure, for example, you'll never do that because they're overpriced anyway, so I'm happy enough with that greatest hits album. Okay, that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.